Hello everyone, this is Supersnoopy here, back with another SWTOR Republic video. Today I have for you guys another SWTOR Republic mini guide video. In today's mini guide video, we're just going to be talking about ranked PvP preparation. So I'm just going to be giving a few basic ideas and tips, essentially on what you need to do to get prepared to actually join a ranked 4v4 arena warzone, to play and kind of collab with other players to try and succeed and get a rating. So I hope you guys enjoy this SWTOR Republic video. As always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like. And if you guys want some game mints, then check the link in the description down below, Catalyst game mints. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the guide. Alrighty guys, let's get into this right now. So the first thing you're going to want to do, most importantly out of everything, is figure out your class, your spec, and how exactly to play it. For example, I am a Gunnery Commando. That means I'm a DPS advanced class, and essentially what I do is my goal is to take down the enemy, just really hurt them, reduce their armor, and just try to just help overall. In ranked PvP, I'm able to use an Electronet, which can snare enemies, for example like a Sork, so they can't use their God Bubble to be immune. Essentially, you need to kind of figure out the ins and outs of your class, your advanced class, and also your spec before entering a ranked PvP warzone. Because once you go in, then people are going to want certain things, and they are going to expect you to be able to do certain things. So it is very important to actually kind of consider that. So obviously, just first and foremost, before entering, definitely know your class and your spec, just know exactly how it works, and there are definitely quite a few other guides online to just figure out a particular class and what they can be really useful for in ranked PvP. Now, the second thing you're going to want to do right here is you're going to want to go to the GTN, or you're going to want to find a crafter. Essentially, what you're going to want right here is you're going to want someone to craft you augments, or you just want to craft them yourself. I highly recommend having complete all your gear, just every single slot piece of gear, having everything completely augmented just to actually help with your efficiency. That is very important as well, just getting everything. Obviously, you can go with the purple augment for starters, but eventually, if you have the creds and stuff, I would highly recommend getting the legendary augments, because they will not only help your stats even more, but they will make you very, very efficient, which is taking down enemies. And sometimes that extra little percentage of endurance or power stuff could possibly make the difference in a fight. So that's something to consider right there. Another thing, obviously, is to try and just gear up in general. Just not only with augments, you want to get your gear to a fairly high rating. I'm currently level 70, so this might not completely apply. But you don't need to be, like I said, just the highest gear possible, just all legendary augments, just everything perfect. But I would highly recommend getting it in a sort of like a more higher tier like ish of gear to just be really safe and secure. There is a bolster in the war zones which can help you know, kind of like jump you up a little if you have some pieces that aren't quite good. But I still would recommend just trying to get different pieces of gear and just trying to kind of coordinate it and get it to the best of your ability. Another thing besides that is you can try to min-max your gear. This is a term that a lot of people use when they're trying to really focus on particular stats with their character, just with their gear, to make them really efficient in different areas. For example, some people might want to min-max their character so they have over 110 accuracy, and then they just really want a really strong crit multiplier. So that's something that can also be found online and in other sources, is people want to get stuff min-maxed. They want to figure out, hey, what's a good critical rating? What's something that can really make me efficient? Just overall with my particular class and spec. And another thing as well is teamwork is key. That means you could join a particular PvP guild, or you could just in general find a group of people to go with, just with a team ranked PvP. But just besides that, if you can't find a group for that team play, you always can just get some tips and pointers from better players. For example, there are, you know, good players in certain classes in Star Wars Republic on the leaderboards, and if they are in the server, you know, it's not, obviously, you just don't want to, like, completely, like, whisper them and just say, hey, help me. But, I mean, if you just want some tips and pointers, I know that sometimes the players are willing to help out if someone really wants to learn how to be good with their class and spec. And especially in a ranked arena. So that is something right there. The next thing as well is try to learn the ranked PvP war zones. Now at the time of recording this, they might add extras, but there are quite a few to kind of consider. For example, you just have one on the orbital space station, you have one in Corellia, you have one on Rishi, you have one on Tatooine, and just in general, you kind of want to figure out the ins and outs of these ranked PvP war zones. Like I said, a lot of this can just come down to a quick search of people just playing ranked PvP on YouTube and stuff. Because a lot of people try to be, they kind of like try to coordinate. They try to figure out what they're going to do with their ranked PvP war zones. Because there's easy ways to just juke people around a line of sight and just try to be, people just trying to be a complete nuisance. Because in a ranked 4v4 arena, being a nuisance is probably the best thing to do. Because having people give up on you and focus on someone else can end up saving your life in some cases and could help change the round itself. And then obviously another thing is just try to, like I said, the main thing that is important as well is trying to communicate with your team and making coordination. For example, if someone puts a target on a character and they're just explaining what the plan is, for example, say like I'm a commando in this situation, I just have operatives, I have a healer, and one of them's just like, alright, we're gonna focus down this Sork right here, and then we want you, for example me, the commando, to use an electronet on them when they're around 40%, and we're just gonna completely bomb rush them. Just probably not like the best example, but just say for that example that happens, is I will just use the electronet at the right time, just so we can snare the enemy. They can't use their bubble to try and survive, and we just take them out very easily. So it's kind of that coordination that can actually turn the tide of a game. And it's another reason why it's important to really communicate and listen to teammates. And then, honestly, in my opinion, the most important tip out of all this stuff is to not get tilted and to not get very angry when something doesn't go your way, and or you make a mistake or just something happens in the game. Because a lot of things that do happen is when something doesn't go your way or you make a mistake, sometimes people do get frustrated. And I mean, it's understandable. People can get irritated for different reasons. But the big thing is to not get tilted, because if you do get tilted, you typically won't play as good as you want to, and it could end up just costing you the round, because once again, if you aren't performing well in a PvP war zone, it will actually show. So definitely try not to get tilted, just to stay light on your feet essentially, and just try to really push forward. But anyways guys, those are my very basic tips for ranked PvP war zones. I just feel like these are essentially the most basic tips when it just comes down to going to a ranked PvP war zone. Obviously there are more advanced things to definitely consider and just different ways to be tactical and competitive in the ranked PvP setting. But I feel like these are just a few things to help get you started and prepared to get into battle. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Star Wars Republic mini guide video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.